Richard Flack was a man accustomed to power. As a consultant with a merchant bank, his was the decision to inject the money and management know-how that could set a young company on the path to exponential growth. His, too, was the Compaq Deskpro 386S personal computer that in a moment or two would spill out a few numbers heavy with significance for an eager start-up company tapping naturally sparkling mineral water from the Mourne Mountains of employment-starved Ulster. Now, as the sky darkened outside, all that illuminated the vast office were the lights of the city beneath, a solitary desk lamp, and the glimmer of the screen reflected on Richard's intent face. And the only sound was the sudden ringing of the telephone. As he input his last figures, he diverted one hand to answer it. "Hello, this is Dick Flack." He knew who it was going to be. Fast though his Compaq PC was, Amy somehow had the habit of beating it to the final draw. "Is that the Dick Flack, spearhead of the enterprise culture?" Amy was on form. "This is your wife, Richard. I'd like to share a few thoughts with you. Thought number one, a preoccupied, uncommunicative man has been visiting this house late at night. The children feel fairly sure they recognize him, but I'm not certain that I do." "All right, Amy, I own up. I'm sorry. I was going to ring you as soon as the computer had, computed." The tinge of irritation was quickly picked up. "Thought two, Richard. I probably won't recognize this person in the divorce court either. And thought three, perhaps a wee bit more positive, why don't you work on whatever it is at home?" Believe me, Amy, appearances to the contrary, I am neither wedded to the job nor the computer. But it just so happens that the Compaq Deskpro 386S is 16 megahertz worth of 80836 technology and 60% faster than the latest 80286 10 megahertz hardware, which is probably 7 million times as fast as the computer in my study. Keep talking, his mind urged as his finger finally stabbed the enter key. And anyway, that machine is perpetually the battleground of some intergalactic conflict appreciated only by our games-obsessed son. He'd given her an opening, but never mind. "An inherited trait, obviously," she said. "I would have thought that after all this, his Compaq Deskpro 386S never ceased to amaze him. After hours of input, the answer was coming up already. He cut in sharply on Amy's refrain. "And I'm going to Northern Ireland on Wednesday." Later, as his lovingly restored Jaguar XKS, hood down, eased him through the final 100 yards of lavender-laden Weybridge air, somehow his boldness deserted him. Would those scents soon become just a whiff of nostalgia for a life he had let go, carried away by the tide of the high-growth, high-pressure late 80s? There was a crack of light under the drawing-room door. Tim. A relief. Or perhaps not. "Dad, what I can't understand is that our machine here is industry standard, right?" "Correct, Tim." "And the one at work is from Compaq?" "Yes, so?" "And Compaq are committed to building industry standard personal computers that follow the standards which users choose." Only 12, thought his father, and already he's deep into those sexy PC magazines. "So, if they're compatible, why don't you just bring the diskette home?" "Well, that's all very well, Tim," said Dick, pouring himself rather more than a finger of 12-year-old malt. "But I need the answers faster than our steam-powered box could conceivably crunch. And then I have to take the data I uncover on field investigations and incorporate it into documents, complete with charts and graphics. Real desktop publishing stuff. In fact, because the Compaq Deskpro 386S can support VGA graphics, I'm going to have to go straight to the office to produce my report as soon as I touch down Friday afternoon. Might even have to go in on Saturday too, son, which rather knocks our planned 29th visit to the Science Museum on the head." "In which case," said Amy's voice from the hall, "you better take the camp bed, because you're not coming back here." Maybe she had a point. Maybe he had to decide. Was it to be consultancy or cohabitation? "Dad, what if you could take it with you? Not the disk, the computer." "Nice thought, Tim, but no laptop in the world could give me full-function desktop power. With the exception, Dad, of the new Compaq SLT 286. Dim though his eyes were with fatigue and foreboding, Dick managed to make out the details of the advertisement which Tim's hands held before him like a life jacket. The 12 MHz 286 performance was 20% faster than typical 10 MHz desktops, and it could even give him VGA graphics. And in that space? Impossible. It was a trick of the malt. The security officer at Aldersgrove Airport, not surprisingly, took a close interest in the contents of the neat carrying case. One of those new video cameras, the newsman, would it be? Just about 14 pounds, I'd say. You'd be right about the weight, but not the contents. Look. In his enthusiasm, Dick couldn't wait to reveal his baby. The full-size 12-function keyboard, the 10-inch non-glare backlit VGA screen. A wee computer, would it be? More like my whole office. There's 640K memory as standard, expandable up to 3.6 megabytes, and you'd be planning to do a spot of work over here then. Officer, I did more than a spot on the way over here. The unit is so neat, it fitted onto the tray table. Oh, there's a wonder. But if you wouldn't mind, we've a whole queue of passengers. Look, the power comes from the battery. Over 3 hours. Hey, appreciate that, sir. But though it's portable, there's no need to get carried away. Absolutely right, officer. Besides, I must head for the hills. In the country inn afterwards, Dick weighed up his impressions of the burgeoning little business. The MD, a young marketing man with a Manchester Business School background, who'd thrown up his job with a mainland conglomerate, as bubbling with ideas as the effervescent water itself. The financial director, a chartered accountant, well senior in years to Dick himself, who'd risked even more on the strength of one of the best business plans he'd seen. The gritty Ulster engineer who'd located the spring and sunk the well shaft. Yes, he'd been impressed with the team, and with his compact laptop. It kept him company throughout the visit, on the scramble up to the wellhead on the moors, through the racket of the bottling plant, and during the round-table discussion with the team. Instead of having to transcribe notes as usual, he'd keyed in his observations directly. And now, at the creaking bedside table, he was enjoying the sophistication of being able to create charts to insert into his now virtually finished and glowing report. As he returned to the document, he relished once again the astonishing speed of response. Suddenly, a noise diverted him, or rather, the lack of it. He went over to his bedroom window. The sky over the black moorland was still light at a time when the city would have seemed totally dark. The space, the silence, magically nudged venture capitalism to the sidelines for a long moment. The Compaq SLT 286 had given him time. Time to fit in a new project. Or time to... Look, Amy, it's only a modest place. Peat fires, trout caught at the end of the garden, that sort of thing. But it's only 75 minutes from the airport. You could leave Tim with your mum. To Dick on the telephone, Amy sounded softer than he lately remembered. Now that's much more like the person I recognize, she said. Do you think we've got the power to make it work then? Dick pressed the save key. He thought of those other hard-pressed high flyers for whom salvation lay with the nearest authorized Compaq dealer, as it had done for him. Certainly, Amy, he replied. The power to work anywhere.
That's the end of the story of one man and his Compaq SLT 286 portable. It's the latest addition to a range which confirms Compaq's position as leaders in the portable PC market. You will be able to get a quick indication of which of the four Compaq portables best suits your needs by glancing at the reference cards you'll find by opening the top of this pack. For fuller details, or to arrange a visit to either a Compaq authorized dealer or a Compaq seminar near you, fill in the enclosed reply paid card. If you'd like immediate action, call the toll-free number 0800 444 123. That could be the start of another story of one man or one woman and the difference a Compaq portable PC can make. the power to work anywhere.